Hello, so I'm going to be streaming for an hour, and then as soon as I finish streaming, Weapon Collector will be on doing his stream, so I'll be streaming till 9 PM. And the Riot Shield that Stu found for me online actually came yesterday, so that was a really quick dispatch, because was that Tuesday? He found one of those on there. So, yeah, there we are. It was either Monday or Tuesday, but yeah, it came like in 2 days, basically. In fairly good condition. I've cleaned it up a bit. Obviously, it's quite scratched, but you'd expect that from a second-hand Riot Shield. Some of the foam might need re-gluing to the back of it, but otherwise, yeah, all very good. And I've always wanted one of these round shields because it means I can, move it about easily, unlike the big shields where they're basically just for moving, forwards and backwards with. You can't do much else with them. All right, everybody, it's just joining in. Right, that's good. It's obviously sent a notification out if people are joining. Because, yeah, sometimes if I've done videos on the same day, YouTube doesn't send out notifications. No, it's not a ballistic shield, just literally a Riot Shield. So polycarbonate Riot Shield. I've got the big Riot Shield, but, yeah, Weapons and Survival 94, that's Stu, if you don't know, who sometimes comes on these. He actually managed to find exactly what I had to type in eBay to find these for sale. Because, annoyingly, if you type round Riot Shield into eBay, you barely get any results for these, even though there were loads on there. No, it's not bulletproof. It's just a polycarbonate Riot Shield. It might stop birdshot, but that would be literally it. It's designed to stop like bricks and things like that. Mostly eBay, Samuel. Like nearly always eBay, just because there's so much to get on eBay. I mean, the DEAC rifles and grenades and things aren't from eBay, but everywhere else is. Yeah, I've had quite a busy day. Helped my friend walk the dogs this morning. Then we filmed the video on the hazmat suit. Then I've just been sat at home relaxing, really, for most of the evening. I'm at work tomorrow. But I've got Sunday booked off work because we've got a panto rehearsal Sunday. So that's good. I'll stream Sunday night and everything. But, yeah, it's quite nice for me just to, know I'm working the Saturday and then have the Sunday off, especially because Sunday's normally a busier day. No, I was just showing the Riot Shield to people, Mike. This is a Russian Riot helmet as far as I'm aware as well. It doesn't have the visor with it at the moment. It's just a helmet. But B-Store had some in, so he sent me one to see what I thought about it. And I actually quite like this. I mean, when the visor's on, I'll know how good it is compared to the British ones, but the liner's more comfortable in this. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Was it Tuesday I ordered this? Because if it was, it was either Tuesday or Wednesday, wasn't it? But it came, thank you very much. Memulus, do you have a Discord ID if you're not already on the server? Yeah, I'll show you this thing, Mike. Let me just put the Riot Shield down. Oh, a nice thing of the round Riot Shields is these handles fold. So when you've got them put away, essentially, you can get them folded more flat than the big ones. I've already done that, Julia. But yeah, if I show you, so it's got the little release button there. All right, Richard? If I can actually work out how it releases again now. Worked fine when I did it before, but I'm probably just doing it. There we go. It's holding onto it. So, yeah, there you go. So, this is the Russian Riot helmet. So, inside it's all foam. If you feel the top, you can feel that they've got like that impact foam stuff in like the British ones do. But it's got all this kind of mesh stuff over it. Sits pretty tight in. The strap's better than the British ones at least because it's a proper chin strap that's got foam on the inside of it. And then it's got like that quick release kind of little buckle thing, like a seatbelt. Obviously, the visor would go on this bit, I imagine, when the visor's installed. But at the moment, yeah, most Riot helmets pretty much are motorcycle helmets, but it's definitely a Riot helmet because it's got the removable neck protector at the back, which is, designed so it's harder for you to get neck injuries. But yeah, I wondered if it was a bike helmet to start with, but no, it's definitely a Riot helmet. And yeah, hopefully at some point I'll be getting the visor sent. Because yeah, Mike B-Store said to me that if we wanted to destroy it round yours, we could do, but I think that seems a bit of a shame with this because it's in such good condition. I don't actually know, MTB. I'll take it off and you can have a look at the neck cover. I don't know if it's Kevlar. It's kind of normally like a fire retardant fabric sort of stuff they use on these. The idea is kind of it's just hard to get your neck burned and stuff like that. So let me just get this off. It's easier, obviously, if I didn't have the helmet on trying to unzip with this, but I should be able to do it. Don't forget to like the stream, everybody, if you've come on. So yeah, this is outside some sort of fake leather, I'd assume. Similar stuff they put on the British like Riot gloves, and then it's just kind of like foam on this side. But yeah, there you go. So that's all the neck protector is. Yeah, well, the reason is obviously just to find out how good they are, but the thing is, because this seems like such a good Riot helmet, I don't really want to destroy it. Yeah, especially because it's brand new. When I got it, it was like, you know, wrapped in this and everything, and it's, yeah, totally brand new, not scratched up. So yeah, I'll definitely wait till the visor comes, but this might actually be a good Riot helmet to keep as my actual Riot helmet, because it's more comfortable than the British ones, especially because it fits me properly. I haven't had to modify it. And there's, like, you know, more kind of foam and fabric-y stuff on the inside. Ah, that's interesting, Alex. Yeah, around my head there's enough room for comfort, obviously, but yeah, it's more compact design. I think he said it's called the Root helmet. Let me look it up. All right, cool. Yeah, I remember you as Marsh Metro. Now you say that with that picture. Let me have a look and see if I can find much about these online. Russian Riot helmet. Well, a lot of the ones annoying when you type in Russian Riot helmets that come up are the Spetsnaz ones. But yeah, I reckon it's this thing. Although that's actually, yeah, this looks like it. Hang on. See if I can get this up, whatever site it's on. Gee, this is a Chinese one. I don't know if it's the same model. No, it's not actually, looking at that, because some of the, like, vent sort of things on it are in different places. I think he said it was called the Root helmet, but I'll look that up. But when I looked it up, I couldn't find much about it. I can see one that looks like it with the cover on. I'll go back to the chat in a second. I'm just seeing if I can actually see, you know. Because on some of the pictures of the Russian Riot Police, they've got what looks like British Riot helmets on anyway. Just like ones I guess they bought cheap as surplus, but... Let me just search Russian Riot Police and I'll see if I can see actual pictures of them in use. I think this might be them. It's not really a high enough resolution picture to tell properly, but these look pretty similar. I'm not sure, Richard. It's probably just rifle rounds that happened with. Yeah, it's very good. I'll get up to show you, because I just put it down after a bit so I could give my arm a rest. But yeah, it's much easier to obviously move around than the like heavier shields. You get a lot more flexibility to sort of do that with your arm, obviously, so you can, you know, bring it up and down as needed. It's about that thick, the polycarbonate, so I guess a couple of millimeters thick. It's probably the same thickness, I'd imagine, as the armadillo. But yeah, it seems perfectly fine. Obviously, I've not done any tests with it yet, but you could actually punch with that if you needed to. But yeah, if you were obviously buying a Riot shield, for most people, I'd advise these. One, because they tend to be cheaper than the armadillo shields on the whole, and you can do more with it. Because, yeah, that's the thing with, like, these shields. As I've said before, the armadillo, it's a bit too big to be practical. As much as it's a really good solid shield in terms of protecting you, these are much better for, you know, quickly moving across and things like that. And you're not going to get worn out as quickly of one of these. Yeah, you can strike with shield edge. As I was just saying, Iron Man, which you can't really do with the other Riot shield, because with these you can obviously do that and then punch. I don't know if it's ambidextrous. Let me have a look. No, unfortunately, unless you... Ooh, I got my hand a bit stuck there. That's not very pleasant. Hang on. There you go. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not really ambidextrous, so this is designed really only for the left arm. if you could take these off the hinges, I'm not sure if you could. You'd be able to swap them, and then it would work if you wanted to use it with the right hand. But obviously how they've done it is the left one's like that, so you can put your arm under it and then grip the right one like that. Do you have Google Translate on your phone, Alex? Because if you can, they do the thing now where you can take photos of a lot of languages and it will translate it. Was that the Riot shield you're on about, Mike, or a Riot helmet? Right, Wasteloner. Oh, if it was it you that was on about donating via something that wasn't Patreon or Google? Because what I've done now is I've made it so people can email me through YouTube. So if you go on my YouTube account and you go into the About tab, it's got a email address there. If you email me, I could like sort you out with my PayPal details or whatever. Because I don't mind doing it that way. But I didn't really want to post my PayPal details, you know, like right in the normal chat. Obviously, that's only if you want to, but yeah, I'm doing that because I've had a couple of people say to me on various things like they wouldn't mind donating, but they don't want to donate on Patreon or like, you know, Super Chat because like 20 to 30% of what they donate goes to the thing. So yeah, they were saying, you know, if we don't, can I donate, but can I donate via thing? And I was like, yeah, well, I'm not going to say no if people want to give me donations. So, yep, that'd be absolutely fine. Then all you have to do after you've done it, Wasteloner, is you can email me your Discord ID and I can invite you on that way. Yeah, I don't know what to think about the new Dune movie because I think they're at least doing it in 2 parts, which will work better than trying to cram it all into one movie. But unfortunately, they seem to be doing some very annoying kind of SJWE, you know, design choices with the movie, which will completely ruin it. So I'm not really optimistic about it. I think the best way of doing Dune actually would be like a HBO-style miniseries, you know, where each book could have like an 8 to 10 part series on it, because it would work really well as that. But I think the problem with Dune is when you try and compress it into a movie, there's just too much because it's too big a book to compress really into one movie with all the backstory, you know, like Bene Gesserit and all that sort of stuff. Oh, I really like David Lynch's Dune. I've got on Blu-ray. Most people hate it, but I love the soundtrack. I love the costume design. Like the thing is, I'll post a picture in the chat, but it's like the Sardaukar, like, you know, the Emperor's Terror Troops in the David Lynch one. They remind me of that Polish suit I've been wearing. If you're wondering, that Polish suit is back there, down there, but I'm not getting it all out now. That's the blower unit, and that's all the hazmat suit in there. But yeah, that really reminds me of the Sardaukar. I got it on Amazon, but I think I got maybe the American import. I can't remember which version I got. Let me have a look for you, because the problem was that apparently one version on the Blu-ray isn't very good, so I got the one that had all the extras on, the really good restoration. Whereas, you know, like I was saying, some versions on the Blu-ray aren't very good. So let me search Dune Blu-ray, and then I'll show you the oh yeah, it's the US import I got anyway, so you'd have no problem if you're in the US watching it. So what versions are there now? Because there's like different versions coming up. Like not as in Dune, I mean with the David Lynch version. Because there's a David Lynch one that's 769 showing up at the moment. They've actually re-ranked it to a 12 now in the UK. So it's 12, not 15 anymore. That's weird. Moderate violence is apparently the only thing. What do the reviews say on this one? Oh, apparently, sadly, it's still the shit transfer. So yeah, get the US version. Because apparently, you know, I've had no problems with the US version. Like $1. Didn't you donate on another one, Metro fan? I can't remember. But literally $1, £1. It's just so it's kind of like hidden behind a paywall kind of thing. There's no super secret interesting content on there for the people who were saying, you know, like, oh, it's not very good how he tries to make his own gas mask thing. Yeah, I can do that, Iron Man. I'll not obviously do it tonight, but I will do a video outside testing that. If you want to do it through Super Chat, yeah, Metro fan, just post your Discord ID after you've done it. Yeah, well, it seems tonight, which is good, YouTube's actually sent out a notification because they've obviously notified people that I did 2 videos today, which is rarity. If you put it all together, I Am Simp, it would cost absolutely loads, thousands, but I really don't know, and I don't really care to know. If I'm selling any bits, I'll try and get as much for them as possible, but, you know, I don't really want to think how much I've spent on all this stuff. Hello, Stalin. How are you? Yeah, I really like Doctor Strangelove. Obviously, I really like Stanley Kubrick films in general. But Doctor Strangelove's probably my favourite just because of the Cold War theme of it. Yeah, go ahead if you've got a question. I'm alright, Stalin, thanks. I've not seen all that many Lynch films, actually. I've seen Mulholland, whatever it's called, Drive. I've seen that one. I've obviously seen Dune loads of times. I've seen Eraserhead. But I don't think I've actually seen many more than that. Like, I keep meaning to watch all of Twin Peaks, and I've never got round to it. And, you know, there's lots of other David Lynch films I think I'd actually like. I've just never got round to watching them. What was Tactical Pirate say? Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can find that, because I think somewhere like Daily Motion had it a while ago. What they'd done, it wasn't perfect, because obviously with Dune, originally David Lynch shot loads of stuff. And what happened was the studio basically ruined it, because they said, oh, you can't have this film to be that long, you know. And when like Lynch protested, they said, you're not going to be able to edit the film either. So they got somebody else to cut a load of stuff out, you know, and edit the film down to just over 2 hours, I think it is. June, is it 2 hours, 15 minutes? I think. I'm trying to remember, like an hour, like 135 minutes, I think June is roughly. But obviously, Lynch had shot like 4 hours worth of stuff for it. Some of the scenes are better than others, like some of them should kind of be deleted scenes. But afterwards, they did a TV release of Dune, where it was basically every single scene he'd shot. But then lots of people don't like that because it ruins the pacing and the atmosphere. So there's some quite good online versions where people have basically used loads of the clips from the TV series plus what's in the film to try and just, you know, pad the film out with a bit more of the story that should have been in there, but not actually ruin the pacing. Because I've not actually seen the full, like, 4-hour TV version, but I bet I wouldn't like it. You're above comments from Rich. If it was, I did see that, Rich, and I think I missed it because the chat moved. If it was happening with 556 NATO, I worked out a high poundage wall over heavy arrow. That's more momentum 556. Yeah, the interesting thing, Rich, there was a video I watched on medieval helmets, and apparently one of the good things about medieval helmets is they had a much better like liner system. I'll see if I can demonstrate this, because I bet I could with like, this is one of my complaints I have with modern helmets, that a lot of them don't have the right kind of head protection stuff to actually protect you from head impacts where older helmets did. So this Riot helmet's fine because it's got actual proper impact foam. They're built like crash helmets. That's why Riot helmets are so good for stopping head injuries. But like, let's show you some modern helmets. So here's the British Mark 7. When that's done up, your head sits pretty tight to all the pads. If there's a big impact, that will, you know, move your head and neck with the helmet, which isn't very good. If I get you an older steel pot helmet up from somewhere, I should have some in here. I'm just trying to spot, you know, one that's a good example. There's a lot of them, most of my helmets I don't store in this room. But okay, this isn't a perfect example, but I'll use this one because I can at least show my example with this. With a lot of older helmets, they had the liner where your head isn't actually touching the sides of the helmet. You know, you sit on the liner, and it kind of does that. And that's more like a medieval helmet, where when there's an impact, the helmet moves, but the helmet moves like that, and your head stays where it is in the liner. So it actually transfers less force into your head. And again, like, I know why modern helmets have the more advanced liners, because they're more comfortable for a long time wearing the helmet and all that sort of stuff. But that's kind of the reason I like a lot of older steel helmets, is where they have a lot of them have simpler liners. the suspension system means you're actually going to feel less force of an impact. Yeah, thanks. Don't worry about repeating anything if I've missed their comment, because sometimes obviously if you're spending a while replying to somebody's comment, you miss like the next comment. Yep, Beastor sent it me. He thinks it's called the Russian root helmet. Right, so what you do, Wastealona, if you go on my channel, there's an about tab, and it says for business inquiries, and then you click that, and I think you have to do a captcha, so it gives you my email. And then if you go on that, then obviously just send me an email, and after the stream, I'll reply to it and give you my details for PayPal. Yeah, it's because with British pronunciation, June is said almost with a J, isn't it? Like the month of June, because you don't really say the D in it, but with Americans they say Dune, don't they? Like that, like Doon almost pronunciation. No, Mike, just in case loads of people end up spamming it, because since I've put that on there, I've still had a few strange emails actually. So I was kind of thinking, oh, do I want to do this? But because I've actually had people that are donating through that way. But yeah, I'll let it go through the normal method. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get the page up for you. Let me just get my profile up, and then I can link you to the exact bit, but where you have to do the thing. Right, so if you go to the About tab, if you go down, it says for business inquiries, view email address. If you scroll down, if you've got some sort of thing that's blocking scripts, that might be why you can't see it. An SSH-68 helmet, Stalin, will not stop 5.56 NATO rounds. It's a decent helmet, but it won't stop rifle rounds. Cheers, Blended Cheese. I see you've got, is that a scientist from Half-Life 1 going? Is there a picture? There's not much I can do then, Wastealona, if you can't see that, because it's literally there. Just out of interest, can other people see that where I've linked it? If you go down, can you see where it says view email address? Do you have an ad blocker running or something like that? Because I'm just wondering if you're doing that, is that why Patreon and everything else isn't working, because it's just blocking scripts? Yeah, so it is there, yeah. I don't think you shoot weed XOP. You don't get it in a needle and do that. I mean, in theory, I suppose you could. Could you deliver THC like that? Anyway, what I was going to do, wasn't I, was look for that Dune Spice Diver fan edit. That's the one. And I think it was Daily Motion that had it. Let me have a look. Maybe it has been taken down off of there now as well. I don't know. Just seeing if I can find this one anywhere. Dune, the Alternative Edition Redux. Because this is 177 minutes. Oh, it's 137 minutes, the original Dune. So yeah, this is definitely a longer one, but it's only longer by about 30 to 40 minutes. So I guess the pacing shouldn't be too bad on this one. This might have even been the one I've seen. Let's see if I can find a link to anywhere. There's a trailer there, but I don't know where you can actually watch it, which is always interesting, isn't it? Let me just Google it. Now let me try Daily Motion after that. No, unfortunately, I can't find it anywhere. But yeah, So there is a really good fan edit of Dune, but it seems it's been purged from the internet due to copyright bullshit, I guess. All right, cheers, little chums. If you've got a Discord ID, post it, and then I can invite you to the server. You could do it that way if you want to, Waste the Loner. I mean, because the problem is I don't think it lets me post my email address as a random comment on videos. So I've tried that to some people, and they say they never see the comment. Tell you what, I'll post it in the chat. Why not? Because like I said, people can get it if they want to. So I'll just give you my email here. There you go. That's my email. Please tell me you can see that. Because if you can't and everybody else sees it, that's a bit irritating. Oh, yeah, cool, Ernie. Yeah, it was Stu that linked me to that. If he's still in the chat. Weapons and Survival 94. Or he might just be WS 94 now, but yeah. He found one for me on eBay because, annoyingly... Right, let me just add you then, Trimmer. But yeah. The annoying thing is that with those round Riot shields, I've been looking for one for ages, and they'd actually been on there for a while. Just if you typed in round Riot shield, it would not display results. What you had to do was actually type in something like police shield or something like that, and then the round ones were like the top results. But yeah, with postage, it ended up being 40 quid, but I can't blame them for that because it's a big item, and they got it to me within like a day or two of ordering it. So, you know, that was pretty good. Right, thank you. I've added you to my friend's request, Chummer. As soon as you accept it, I'll invite you into the server. Oh. Did you donate Metro? Hang on, let me just go through. Because you said you haven't yet earlier, but like I said, Metro, you need to do a donation and I'll add you. Oh, you've done it on Patreon. If you've done it on Patreon, then I will reply to your Patreon message in a minute. Oh yeah, meet Metro fan. Oh, as that's you anyway, that's fine. It's your picture. I'll just do it through this. It's faster for me that way, actually. So that, yeah, let me just do that. Yeah, normally with Patreon ones, what I do is I just add people through Patreon, like messaging them on there. But yeah, I might as well do it this way, seeing as I can see it's you and you're already in the chat and you've given me your ID. Right, now both of you have accepted. Let me just invite you to the server. And you are that one. Invite to server. Right, I'll just close Discord for the time being, but thank you to everybody that's donated. I appreciate it. Well, it's not exactly the same, because this is whatever company makes the ones for Britain, but they'll be pretty similar. If I definitely knew I could order those shields from China and get them through customs without them throwing a ship fit, I wouldn't mind comparing them. But I don't know what brands these are. Let's see if I can find the sites of like the companies that actually supply them to the police, because that would be what interests me. I can't really check my emails and give you all my thing right now, Wasteland, but I can do it as soon as the stream ends. Because yeah, if you need my PayPal or whatever, I can sort that out for you as soon as the stream ends. Britain also has the really tall shields, just to show you. See that one there that I've used before in videos? That's the really tall one, but that's why I wanted to get one of the smaller round ones, because the tall ones aren't that great if it's just you with a shield. They're obviously designed for shield wars, where these ones are obviously a lot more mobile because it's designed so a single officer can actually use them, you know, properly. So yeah, I'll definitely have to try doing a video at some point with a load of body armor on, holding this while using a sword or something, and see if it's possible. If you want to see what this one's like, Mike, I can bring it over Tuesday, because I can fit this in the car, no problem, because considering how light it is and how it folds flat. I've started doing that, Alex. I did it with gas mask collections. But yeah, the problem is with some of those is I definitely have to update them again, because obviously with some nations I've got a lot more stuff than I used to. Right, cool, will do, Mike. Right, there was something I was going to do at the start of the stream and I forgot, but I can still do it. Let me just put the riot shield where I'm not going to trip over it. What I wanted to do was work out how dangerous strontium-90 is if you were continuously exposed to it, and I'm not going to expose myself to it this time. Sounds a bit dirty, but you definitely wouldn't want to expose yourself to strontium-90. So what I'm going to do, get the SOX Geiger counter out. I can leave it going through your stream if you want, Mike, and then randomly keep putting the numbers in the chat. but it's about 1.25 to 1.3 Rontgen per hour, which I worked out with the DP75. But what I want to do with this is, let's just go to dose, and I'll reset that. So settings, set to 0, yes, reset. Right. In a second, what I will do. Are those the aluminium ones, Richard? Right. In a second, I'm going to turn the clicking off because it will get really irritating otherwise because of how fast this clicks. But, right, here we go. So I've got some strontium 90 in here, which is interesting stuff. Hello, Stug. So here we go. Right, so just to give you an idea, I'll go back to the main thing a second. So let's say it's measuring. That's normal levels. I'll show you, just to show you how high it is before I put on mute. So that cover is actually very good on the strontium. It's higher than background levels with the cover on, but it's not all that high compared to what it goes up to. So it's 0.40 at the moment. When that green bar gets to the top, it gives you the updated number, 0.69. Yeah, so what I'll do now, take that cover off. Then if you listen to how fast it clicks now. It's a check source. What they used to use these for, the strontium 90, was on Geiger counters. So you'd know that the high-level tubes are working, you know, like the ones that would tell you if you're exposed to high levels of radiation. So we're at the dangerous level now. Right, anyway, what I'm going to do is we're going to go to the dose setting, which has already got to 4.45. Is that millisieverts? And yeah, it's 140 or 162 millisieverts an hour at the moment, what it reckons you'd be exposed to. But what I'm just going to do, go to settings, go to options, sound. We'll put all the sound off full stop. That way I don't have to, you know, turn off every individual sound. So what we'll do now is, if you want to see what the spike looks like compared to background levels, see how big that scale's gone compared to background radiation. It's insane. So anyway, oh, what it was is with the DP66 Geiger counters, so that's a DP66, this was the case. It's just if you buy these, you'll never get them with the strontium because the sellers take them out. Oh, my finger's tingling again now. But anyway, what I'll do is I'm going to put this on the measuring one. Actually, no, I'll tell you what, I'll put on dose. Let's put on dose, where it shows you the total dose. And for the rest of the stream, I'm going to have this running, just obviously not near me, for obvious reasons. So if I put that there like that, I'm just checking that it's still reading it all right, because obviously it's not clicking. 13.2, 13.7, yeah. So, yeah, we'll just leave that running out of curiosity. I'm not sure if B still wants them back yet, Metro. I'll let you know later down the line if I get to keep them or not. I'm sure I'll get to keep them a bit longer regardless, but he was saying to me recently he's hoping that he can get a load of PNV 57As in fairly cheap. Because if you don't know, there's the PNV 57A or PNW 57, depending if you get the Polish or like the Soviet variants. Basically, the PNV 57, there's the A and the E variant. The A is the old-fashioned one that most people consider crap, which can only see infrared light. So a lot of people are like, oh, it's not proper night vision because it's, you know, doesn't see infrared. The E, the version I was using the other day, is the one that actually amplifies light and is really good. Yeah. The A variant, yeah, exactly. It's Gen 0. It's an active device, not a passive device. But because he's hoping he might be able to get a load of those in, he might be able to do them really cheap, he was saying. And then what I was saying to him would be really interesting is to see with modern IR LED flashlights how effective it would be. You know, because I imagine with modern IR stuff in LED form, you could actually probably get the A's to be fairly efficient, although they're not going to amplify light. Stug, the helmet is, I believe, a Russian Riot Police helmet. It just doesn't have the visor on it. I'm going to just see if I can actually get the name up, because Beast thought it was called the Root helmet. Let me search Russian Riot Root helmet and see if that's the actual name of it. There's a thing called the Equipment Wiki, but that's mostly military stuff. Let me just see if I can find any sites where you can buy like Russian helmets and just see if this model's on here. No, unfortunately, it's not on any of these. Yeah, Beast thought it was called the Root helmet anyway, but I can't find much info on it. Yeah, exactly. If you're going to buy one and they were that sort of price, I'd obviously say definitely go for the 57E. But I think what Beast was hoping, and obviously I don't know for certain, it depends if you can get them, was saying he was hoping he could import, like buy a load of them in bulk, and then was hoping he could sell them like really cheaply. So I don't know what sort of price that would be, but that should be quite good. Because I mean, if people want to mess around with infrared, night vision, and it's a 2-eye piece thing, they can at least do it, fairly cheaply. Has Iron Man bought his yet? Because if Iron Man's in the chat and he's actually bought it, are you on about the helmet or the Riot Shield? Sorry if I missed it. Or were you on about something else? Just repeat what you were asking about. If Iron Man's bought it yet, because he was asking about that, personally, Waste Alone, if I was getting one of those, I'd go for the one that doesn't zoom in, so it's easier to walk around with it on. Or are you on about the Strontium 90? If you're on about the Strontium 90, I'll show you how big that is, because it's not very big at all. It's like a little 1 pence sized thing. Right, just to give you an update on how this is going. Dose. We're now at 26.6. I think that's microsieverts, isn't it? But that's only 7.5 minutes of exposure, if that's got it that high, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, if you want to see how big the Strontium 90 is, it's literally that. It is the little silver bit inside. See that? That is the Strontium 90. It's just that little bit there. But that's radioactive enough that if you had it in your pocket, let's say for I worked this out the other day. Let me just look at Rontgen lethal doses on like a RADS chart. Yeah, the Strontium there, yeah, if you just saw it. I'm not sure what you mean by a Beaver open filter, but if there's an opened filter, if it was like a completely new filter and you opened it, you can reseal it and use it later, but obviously it will run out faster at that point. Yeah, I wouldn't pay that for it, Stug. As much as I want one, I wouldn't pay that for it. What I'm buying next, Stug, because a couple of people have asked me to get one, is a better camcorder. So what I've done is I've sent Bart a message, because he's really into cameras and stuff, and I've said, can you find me, like what would be a good camcorder to buy? Because I don't want to buy one and then find, I've wasted my money because it's not very good. So I like the M61 a lot, Dennis. If you're about the Finnish M61, it's 60mm NATO now, so it's a bit obsolete. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so I want to get a new camcorder. The main thing I think I want with a new camcorder is hopefully it will have a better inbuilt microphone. I think that should be fine now, because obviously I've got the one I use as Sony Handycam for the majority of my videos. This one, some I film on my phone if it's just easier to do, but this is an old model, the HDR CX240. But the annoying thing is when I was looking at Sony Handycams, for spending like 500 quid, there's barely any that are marginally better than this, if that. So I'm quite interested in Canon camcorders. But you know, oh, Canon 60D. Let me look that one up. Oh, so that's an SLR, is it? The thing is, I want an actual camcorder though, not an SLR sort of thing, because the problem I found with actual SLRs and cameras like that can do video is that I found that generally the video is a very bad file size, as in like you barely get shit on the memory card. Whereas when I've ever used proper camcorders, they're obviously completely optimized to doing video. At the moment, not, Paul, but if they change the thing again after Brexit, if that even happens, then I might do. Because it's the current EU stuff that makes them so expensive, apparently. But it's not all about, with cameras, the resolution. Obviously, you want some. I probably want something now that can do 4K, even if I still end up rendering videos at 1080p, just so I've got the option of having 4K, because obviously more and more people want 4K now. But a lot of it is to do with like how well it works in low light conditions necessarily, you know, like so it reduces grain and stuff like that. The like frame rate of it, how good the autofocus is and stuff like that. I know you can change the lenses on it, Survive, but again, changing lens won't change the encoding, will it? So yeah, so I'm saying if Bart really looks into it and he recommends me an SLR, I might go with one, but I'll see what he recommends because he's really into cameras. But you know, that's the problem I've had before, is cameras that can be really good for photographs aren't necessarily good for videos, because they're not, even if they have a video function, they're not designed to, you know, they don't have like the right, I don't know what you call it, if it's software or firmware, but you know, where it actually encodes the files. It's all right, Richard. To be cliche, not great, not terrible, but it's certainly better than the camcorder I bought to replace it. That's the main reason I still use the Sony one. Because the thing is with the Sony one is the microphone is good enough that obviously when you hear what I'm like speaking in all the videos, that isn't with any additional mics. That is just the Sony camcorder where I've just normalized the audio and editing afterwards. With the other camcorder I bought, even though I had an external microphone, even plugging in an external microphone with batteries that looks a lot heavier than the Sony one, it still didn't pick up all audio as well. What I'm recording on now is a webcam. It's a Logi webcam, like Logitech webcam. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's like their best-selling one. And I've got a blue Snowball as the microphone. So that's like on the desk. So I've got a separate microphone for audio and a separate webcam. But obviously for videos, my actual camcorder is pretty obsolete now. Yeah, I think the Yeti is a slightly better one, isn't it, Stug? But the price difference was quite big between them, and I thought the Blue Snowball was such a step up from the previous mic I was using on streams, it really didn't matter. I've done videos, Dennis, on masks I'd recommend, so I'd recommend you watch those videos, and then you don't have to... Yeah, well, if I was using an SLR, I'd definitely use a wide lens, because, yeah, it's a bit annoying. Because the thing is, that Sony one, it's very kind of... although it's widescreen, it's kind of, you know, like tunnel vision-y. Has really good zoom on it, but it's not, yeah, that wide field of view. Yeah, 5D at guns. I've got the FN FAO or British L1A1 SLR, the Lee Enfield. I've got an M1 carbine on that wall, and there's an RPK and a PPSH down there somewhere. I had to tidy them up a bit because where we had the person coming in to look at all the radiators and that, I had to get the stuff all out the way of the radiators. But yeah, when I've accidentally done streams and Windows has decided or YouTube's decided that I actually want to use the microphone on the webcam, not that, you can really tell the difference, even though it's not even a bad microphone as far as microphones go on webcams, that one, because it's even got two microphones. It's like left-right audio. But yeah, the Blue Snowball is a lot better. Because as I said, Waste Alona, I filmed that video probably a month ago, which was before you came on asking me to do French accents all the time. So I'm sorry, I did not do French accent on that video, but I did not think. Yeah, I've never had anything like that, Richard, with it. I can't think of a time I've used it and the audio's not come through properly if it was like too low or too high. But yeah, I'd say to save a lot of ball ache, you do want a camcorder that's got a decent inbuilt microphone that can like cancel wind noises and stuff like that. Because if you watch some of my old videos, they're terrible for just a little bit of wind making, you know, going into the camera microphone. But when I got that Sony camcorder, you know, I don't really have that problem at all. I think it would have to be really windy to cause a problem there. Yeah, I can have a look after the stream. But if it was about GP5 filters, I'd recommend not using them, but I will look after the stream. I don't know if it would work in this country, to be honest, if we had more American-style laws. I think they should be more relaxed than what they are at the moment, but that doesn't mean I'd want like what the situation America's got at the moment. On eBay, Big Cheese. If you type in, I'll see if I can type in exactly what I typed in before to find it. Because I know when I got it, it wasn't actually what I thought. Because when I typed in Riot Shield, it didn't come up. I think it was something like Police Shield, wasn't it? Stu said to type in. Yeah, there we go, Police Shield. I'll link you to the seller I bought it from. There you go. And if you're interested in the other type of Riot Shields, this one is a very good price considering the size of it. That's like the other one I've got. Generally, you don't see those shields for like under 100 quid. But yeah, those are quite good shields, the armadillos. But if you're just getting one for yourself, I'd recommend a round shield. Because as I said, they're much easier to just do that with your arm. Whereas the issue is with the tower shields, although they're not really heavy because they're polycarbonate, they're still a bit awkward where the weight is. So obviously, if you were pushing somebody back with a shield, the tall shields definitely. If you were just, you know, trying to use it to block incoming attacks, you want a shield like this. Yeah, we were on about that, Stug, with Weapon Collector and Richard. So Mike and Richard, we were on, it was during the Fallout 4 streams, wasn't it, Mike? We were discussing this, but we were saying, you know, could you get like roofing polycarbonate for like conservatory roofs, cut them to shape and all that? The only US, well, I've got a MCU2P, which I think the Navy used at one point, but the only like American World War II era mask I've got is the M3 diaphragm mask, which I don't think is a Navy mask. I think it's just a regular Army one. Yep, those Riot Shields completely stop rocks and things like that. There's videos on my channel where we've done tests on the big tower Riot Shield, and it was like stopping axe blades and things like that. But yeah, in terms of like Riot Shield protectiveness, at least the ones you get over here that are like the ones our police use and then sell as surplus, because I don't know obviously if you buy ones online from wherever how good they'd be, but the ones our police use are very good in terms of like there's no way you're going to break it by throwing bricks at it, you know, stones, rocks, catapults, anything like that. Pistol crossbow bolts, they stop fine. I think the right kind of heads on a full-size crossbow would definitely get through. But again, the thing is, I don't think the crossbow bolt would go fully through. What I think would happen is, say you're holding this, if somebody was shooting at you, oh, I need to put this on the right way before I trap my arm again. If you thought something was about to shoot at you, and they shot, you know, at you, I think if you had it up like that, especially if you had it at a bit of an angle, I think what would happen if, you know, because you're not going to hold it to your face like that. I think if you had it up like that, the bolt would obviously, and don't try this without testing it first against, you know, like with nobody holding it. I think what would happen is probably the bolt, if it did penetrate, wouldn't fully go through. I think it would get caught in the shield. Yeah, I'll certainly try and get some videos done with this, Rich. I doubt Mike will want to do any sparring. But I mean, I don't mind holding it while Mike hits it if he wanted to do a if we wanted to do a video like that. But yeah, I'll certainly see at some point if Bart will let me hit him with it, because even if I tell Bart to fight back, he doesn't really fight back properly. But yeah, for the people who didn't know, in about 10 or 11 minutes, we're going over to Weapon Collector's stream, because he's on in a bit. I suppose we could shield bash Sombert with it. That would be quite fun. seeing how effective it is doing that against Zombert, see if it takes his head off. Favourite Hot Fuzz character? The one Timothy Dalton plays. What's his name? Simon Skinner, is it? I'm a slasher and must be stopped. Of prices. I don't think I've ever actually watched Hogan's Heroes properly. I know it's like a World War II comedy thing, isn't it? About Americans, is it, in like a POW camp? Right, see you in 10. Mike, do you want me to just tell you before you go? I mean, I can tell you on your stream, but we'll just see what the Strong team's been doing. Oh, wow. Look at this number here. So the current, where it's stabilized, the current reading we're getting for the strontium is 566, and I'm assuming that's as high as it's kind of going to go now in terms of, you know, like actual reading. But if we go to dose, it's at 150 USV now, which is 559. Is it microsieverts an hour? This one. So I prefer it in Rontgens because I actually understand them better, even though they're kind of a more antiquated measurement. But yeah. Let me see what would have happened to a person if they absorbed 151 millisieverts, just because I'm or microsieverts, whatever it is, yeah, microsieverts, isn't it? Just because that kind of interests me, what it would do to your actual body. Right, so 150 microsieverts. Would that cause any effect? Oh, let's have a look at a sievert dose chart, because this will be interesting. Right, okay, I'm going to link this into the chat. You're gonna, if anybody wants to look at this. The thing is with collabing, the other person has to want to do it. You can't just say, can you collab with a random YouTuber and will they do it? But anyway, so one arm x-ray gives you one, like, I'm going to say U. I know it's not called a U, is it, that symbol? But so it's basically 150 arm x-rays at this point from that. An airplane flight from LA to New York is 40 USV. So we're all like that. You know, see where it says a chest x-ray? I was told it was the equivalent of a chest x-ray. That says 20 microsieverts, and we're already at like 150, aren't we? So if you'd been next to that strontium for 20 minutes or whatever, you'd have got a thing. Average total dose from the 3 Mile Island accident to someone living within 10 miles. Okay, so you've already been more exposed than somebody living there. The yearly release limit for a nuclear power plant is 250 microsieverts, and it's going to go over that pretty soon. So, yeah, I think we might even get into MSVs at some point. The maximum yearly dose permitted for radiation workers is 50 microsieverts. So let me just see Rontgen to sieverts, just because I'm interested to see how they equate. Okay, 100 Rontgens equals 1 sievert. So sieverts are actually quite big, aren't they? So yeah, if we were looking at Rontgens, we've already probably given him a couple of Rontgen. Just in that box hash, because that metal plate on it, when it's in there, when you put the metal plate over it, and you have the box, obviously I don't keep it next to me, it sits at the far end of the bed, and obviously I don't sleep in this room anymore. If you get a Geiger counter and go around the outside of the box, it's only ever so slightly higher than background levels, because those boxes were specifically designed to store it. Because it's beta radiation, strontium-90 only gives off beta. It's not like gamma, where it's, you know, going through everything. It's dangerous if you're next to it and it was open, but, you know, because I'm here, it's over there. The Geiger counter's on it on the right here. I don't know, Metro fan. I can ask him next time I think to ask him when I send a message to him. But I don't know how many he's going to potentially get. I don't know if he just lucked out and found a 57E, you know, in a crate of regular 57As or something. Yeah, I'll look at that after the stream, Wasteland, on the Twitter message, and I'll go on Weapon Collector's stream. Are Americans radioactive? I think most people are radioactive to a very minor degree, aren't they? How would you tell what? Sorry. Oh, you're on about what Dylan said. Yeah, no problem. But yeah, if we have a look at the chart, so 1 MSV is 1,000. So yeah, 1 millisievert is 1,000 microsieverts. Yeah, that makes sense to me now. So it goes microsievert, millisievert, sievert. Yeah, but sieverts are actually really big, aren't they? Because fatal dose, even with treatment, is 8 sieverts. So yeah, sieverts are like a very, very big thing, aren't they? I always forget that. So 10 minutes next to the Chernobyl reactor core after explosion meltdown would be 50 sieverts. So that would kill you several times over. That's the highest thing they've got on that chart. That's quite interesting. So severe radiation. So yeah, I'm just having a look. Severe radiation poisoning, in some cases fatal, is 2 sieverts, also known as 2,000 millisieverts. It's interesting. I prefer Rontgens though, just because I find Rontgens easier to work with. But yeah, Windscale fire, where they accidentally set the atomic pile on fire, where they were enriching uranium or whatever it was. Yeah, I'm quite familiar with Windscale. Yeah, well, I mean, Fallout 3 isn't a particularly well-written game because obviously Bethesda wrote it, but I think there's meant to be those ironies in all the Fallout games. Like in the original, it was like the Master's plan was to have super mutants take over the Earth, but super mutants couldn't breed, so basically it would kill off all life if they took over and then, you know, couldn't multiply. Let's go take a look, because a couple of minutes left on the stream, and I want to see the dose is currently 207 USV. Just get that flat again. There we go. So 207 USV at the moment. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that Rontgen Sievert was the working title of Beavis and Butthead. It's a bit more of an intelligent title. Did they think nobody would get that? I don't know. Let me just check. I'm sure the SOX can't do Rontgen. I just want to check in case you can change the measuring thing. Because if it can do Rontgen, I'd rather just look at it in Rontgen. No, you can only do the alarm. But yeah, that's the only annoying thing of this. As much as I like this Geiger counter, I wish it would actually let you change the digital units. Oh, it's not. Why did you lie? About 150, I'd assume at this point, Monsieur. I don't actually count them properly. Or is that Monsieur? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'm sure it's pronounced, but yeah. I've got a lot is the answer. Well, the interesting thing is whenever I've actually tried measuring like tobacco and stuff for radiation, I've never found anything. And I can prove that to you now, in terms of like the actual tobacco itself. I mean, whether or not when it's burning it's radioactive, I don't know, but I'll put this Geiger counter on here, which has the alpha probe. If I just open that off, so if I take the cover off, that's got an alpha probe on there. So it will read every type of radiation you can read of a conventional Geiger counter. Let's get some tobacco out, because although I quit smoking, I've still got some tobacco in my drawer. Let me just move the stuff so I can get into it. It's this drawer. So, I mean, these are cigars, but there we go. So, yeah, I get annoyed every time I see these, and because I've quit. But let's see. I'm sure there will be nothing. Yep, see, nothing. Whether or not you would get any sort of smoke that might contain some levels of radiation, I don't know. But I know the reason smoking causes cancer is because of cellular damage to your lungs and things like that. It's not, directly as radiation sort of thing. Do you want to see something funny with that Geiger counter? Well, when I say funny, I mean scary. So you know how this will be a good bit to end the stream on. So you know how I've got the strontium 90 over there? What do you think happens to the scale on that Geiger counter if I put the strontium 90 in front of it? Because what do you think will happen with the scale? Yeah, right. It goes completely off the scale. I've never actually held it there for more than like a second or two because you can obviously blow the Geiger tubes if you're like overloading it that much. Because that counter is designed for low-level scientific kind of accuracy readings. It only goes up to 2,000 clicks per second or counts per second, which I suppose is 120,000 counts per minute, which isn't bad. But, to give you some idea, right? Just to give you some idea of how this is radioactive, before I put the strontium 90 on it, I'll put some uranium glazed pottery in front of it, the Fiesta ware. So the Fiesta ware, if I put that there, just over 100 counts per second. And that goes up to 2,000. It's one of those scales where the more it goes up, the more it jumps in numbers. Right, let's do the strontium 90. So just to show you what the dose is on this so far, we're at 209 USV on this now. So yeah, very high. So yeah, here we go. Right. Notice it's not even that close at the moment. See if I can get it in at the angle, because it's a bit annoying to get at the probe without taking the fan out. I'll tell you what, let's just get the probe off. Right, you ready for this? Because I'm ending the stream. Ready? So. There we go. So that's what happens when strontium 90 goes in front of a Geiger counter. So let me just put this back on the strontium 90 now, because I want to carry on measuring the dose and letting people know throughout the evening on Weapon Collector's stream how dead you'd be, basically. So yeah, strontium 90 is one of the things you get in nuclear fallout and fission. I think like 5 to 10% of Chernobyl's fallout was strontium 90. Like most of it was cesium 137, which is even scarier than strontium 90 because it's gamma. But yeah, strontium 90 is the one where if it gets in your body, you're dead. And from the outside, it burns your skin. So yeah, that's my most radioactive thing. And again, I don't even know how easy it is to get strontium 90. And I said I'm going off in a second because it's time for Weapon Collector's stream. But the thing is with strontium 90 is it's quite scary stuff. But there's kind of not any written laws on it that I can find in the UK. Because with some things you can actually read, you're allowed to own this much of it. If you're a civilian, you can own this much. You're not allowed to own more than like this many grams or kilos or whatever of uranium. Might be. It could also just be a nervous reaction to it. But I did get a slight beta burn from handling it the other day when I was doing a video. I don't know if that's visible on there on that finger. It's that one there. But see about there, I got a slight bit, where, in Chernobyl, when they look into the thing and their faces go red because they've got the horrible beta burns. If you're obviously handling a little bit of strontium for a much briefer period, your skin will start even, just kind of changing color slightly from that. So, favorite 7.62 rifle, FN FAL or A1A, A1SLR. Favorite 5.56 SIG 550 series. Not sure which would be the best of those. Anyway, so yeah, I will be going off, and I'll be on Weapon Collector's stream. I'm going to sort your thing out, Wait Alone, in a minute. I'm just going to check my emails, and then I'll check the Twitter thing for the person asking questions on Twitter. Yeah, I will do, Richard. Don't worry. I'm gonna. Oh, you're doing the thing from Mike's thing, aren't you? Well, I'm sure it'll be fine, but I'm not going to wash my hands yet because I still need to handle the strong team again in a minute. Right. Anyway, I'm going off now. Thanks everybody. It's been a good stream, and I might stream tomorrow. Actually, I know I don't normally stream Saturdays, but because I'm not working this Sunday, I might stream Saturday evening because it's not like I have to get up early Sunday. So yeah, I might stream tomorrow, but I don't know for certain yet. Right. See you everybody. Have a good evening.